Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to Solomon's Temple. It's always good to have you with me, rather. My name is Solomon Izang Ashams. They call me Uncle Solomon, so feel free to choose either any of those names and address me as that. Thank you so much. I hope you had a great weekend. This is Monday today, so whether you're on YouTube or you're on Facebook, it's just good to have you here. And I hope your weekend was blessed. Your Sunday was blessed. And up here in South Africa, last night we had what we call the family meeting, right? In South Africa, whenever the president of the country, President Ramaphosa, wants to address the nation, we call it family meeting. When he says, okay, when there is news that he's going to address us on a Sunday, it's like, we're having a family meeting on a Sunday. So 8 p.m. he addressed the nation. The COVID-19 cases in South Africa is escalating. We are in the third wave right now. So I would encourage each and every one of you. I know times are hard and things are really hard. Difficulties with jobs and families trying to take care of themselves because the lockdown now, brings a lot of problems for families making finances. So we're now officially in lockdown level 4. So we restaurants are closed except takeaways. Our churches are totally closed. Any place of worship is closed. Schools are closed. You're not supposed to drive to another different province and all that kind of stuff. But I think for me, the most important thing is for each and every one of us, if you're in South Africa or whichever part of the world you are in, I'm sure there are some sort of like cases of COVID-19. Just observe the regulations. Make sure you put on your mask. Make sure you wash your hands or you sanitize your hands. Make sure you keep the distance, the social distancing thing, and avoid where there is too much crowd, avoid it as much as possible. That way, I believe God has given us wisdom and we need to use that wisdom appropriately. And science is part of the wisdom that God has given us as a people. So God can heal. Indeed, God can give us immunity to it. Indeed, somebody like me, by the grace of God, all this while, a year and a half now, almost a year and a half, right? That is, I've never caught, the COVID-19 virus, never tested positive, nobody in my family, my wife, nobody. So we really praise God for that. And we can only do our bit, once we bring protection in our lives, and God can help also heal us when we get infected. So pray for people who have been infected with this, who are in hospitals, some of them in ventilators, some of them, they have problem with their lungs right now because of the intensity of the virus. Families have been affected. They've lost loved ones. And every day I go on Facebook, it's like, somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that lost somebody, that kind of thing. It's just pastors. Yesterday I saw an apostle here in Johannesburg, Lamond, who's passed away. Let's continue to pray and continue to believe God. Well, thank you so much for joining me, guys. Where are you guys watching from? Neville is watching from Springs. Thank you so much. Tati Augustus is watching from Namibia. Thank you. Petros from Middleburg, just outside of Johannesburg here. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Pindi is saying, Kunjani Malume, how are you, uncle? Breathing a lockdown level 4. Yo, God finish this COVID monster. Yeah, we continue to pray. We continue to pray. Thank you, Letitia from Isandu, all the way from Germany. Sherry, we appreciate you for what you're doing. Uncle Solomon, may God continue to strengthen you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Z-Tak from Namibia in the house. Thank you. Appreciate you. Loki is saying, even Bishop McClendon. Yes, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this bishop. I've met him a couple of times before. The bishop from the, Preachers of LA. You remember Preachers of LA. Thank you, Essie from Sierra Leone, all the way from Freetown. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it. Watching from Secunda, it's Tiko Roro. Thank you, Caroline from Bahrain. Wow, I think this is a first. We're getting somebody from that part of the world in the Middle East. the small country of Bahrain. Thank you, Ian Lone. Yeah, Laone, that is from Botswana. Thank you. Appreciate each and every one of you. And Katrina from Kentucky in the USA. Thank you guys for joining me. Quickly, I want to touch about something that was brought to my attention. You know, a lot of the stuff that I share with you here comes from just people inboxing me, you know, what they see or what they heard, and want to hear what I have to say about it, you know. Which I really do appreciate. People inbox me or WhatsApp me and all that kind of stuff. So I really do appreciate it. So I'm going to be talking to you about Bushiri and Juanita Bynum. Some of you would say, I never thought I was ever going to see this day where Bushiri and Juanita Bynum are in bed together, in quotes, are in partnership together, are sharing the same pulpit. Right, because probably you know Juanita Bynum from a totally different perspective. You would never expect that she would associate with somebody like the fugitive, the runaway shepherd Bushiri. But fact is, there are different factors maybe that, you know, plays a role in all of this. So it was brought to my attention just you know, recently that this was what, yeah, it was brought to my attention. This was what was brought to my attention, right? So Bushiri has been having this 14 days of intensive prayers, he calls it the great finale. I started just on the 27th and is going to finish on the 1st. And on the role for speakers who are going to be speaking and leading prayers is himself, is his spiritual father, Uebert Angel, and his wife, Bebe Angel. And then there is the Nigerian false prophet from Warri in Nigeria, Jeremiah Omoto, Fufeyin. And then there is Bushiri's wife, of course, Mary. And then there is Juanita Bynum, prophetess, the one who is known for no more shit, the one who promoted sexual purity because she came from a dark place in her life. This is a woman who have had relationships with other women. So she was bisexual at one point in her life. Maybe that's her past. It's fine. We cannot blame her for that, isn't it? We cannot blame her for that. But we're talking about not even her past. We're talking about her recent past. So even that was after no more shit. So there's Juanita Bynum. And then there is Bishop Clarence E.McClendon. Now, this is a guy who got divorced about 21 years ago. He got divorced to his wife. He leads a big church, about 10,000 people then. He's part of Four Square Gospel Church. And he divorced his wife. The day the divorce was finalized, he got married to another woman called Priscilla in the next 7 days. Tell me there's nothing wrong with that. And he never really wanted to sign the divorce. He wanted his wife to divorce him instead of him divorcing her. But he's the one that wants the divorce, because from his wife's perspective, she said there's been a lot of adultery. So look at the lineup that we have here. Jeremiah Omoto, false prophet. Bebe Angel, wife of a false prophet. Uebert Angel, false prophet. Shepherd Bushiri, mega false prophet. Mary Bushiri, wife of a mega false prophet. Juanita Bynum, question mark, false prophetess there for me. Why? If not, why? Bishop Clarence E.McClendon, well, you know the gist. But why would someone like Juanita Bynum, people are asking, why would someone like Juanita Bynum come into some sort of pulpit relationship with Bushiri? Why would someone like Bishop Clarence E.McClendon from the Preachers of LA, you know, remember Preachers of LA reality show? Why would they come into this kind of relationship? So people actually, some people showed, sent me this, and I checked it out. And even Juanita Bynum herself, this is what she posted on her Facebook page. So she's gonna be on Thursday, on Wednesday at 2 p.m. So obviously she has endorsed this. By virtue of the fact that she posted this on here, she has endorsed it. It's not just a creation of Bushiri. This is her being a part of it. So people saw this and they were very worried. Not just worried, but even people on social media, on Facebook, were asking questions, especially when she posted this on her social media page. A lot of people were beginning to ask questions, and people were also beginning to say, what is going on here? How can you partner with somebody who is clearly a false prophet? Someone who is a total charlatan, someone who ran away from justice, ran away to his country, someone who has defrauded a lot of people of millions and millions of dollars, someone who has not treated women well, young girls that he has taken advantage of, someone who has created a lot of false miracles. These are some of the comments that people, after she posted that, people were asking. Sylvester was asking the question, oh my Lord, was due diligence not done? So due diligence just means, hey, somebody invited you to come preach on their platform. You ask question, who is this person? Is this person really a man of God? Do they have a good integrity? Do they have godly character? Are they someone I should associate myself with? Should I do this? It's just the way that it is, isn't it? If someone wants to be your friend, you ask questions. So what Sylvester was actually asking here is what companies and big businesses do. Even government, that's what they do. And there's a Signet, Anointed Delani. She's saying, I used to like you, and I thought you were different till I saw you hanging with charlatans. I will never follow you again. Darkness and light can never mix unless you are of the same side. You think why you would started, doctor. Don't get lost. Yeah, maybe it's not a question of darkness and light. Maybe it's darkness and darkness. Maybe it's darkness and darkness. Because darkness and light cannot have any sort of synchronization between them, isn't it? So when we see this kind of association, we need to ask questions. And it's not just, the person is not aware of it, no. All it takes is just one Google for me to Google Bushiri, and I get all that I want. All you need is just one phone call to somebody respected in the nation of South Africa or in Africa and say, oh, who is this man called Bushiri? He's invited me to speak. Should I accept or not? Due diligence. Masungulo says, I love you so much, Mama Bynum, but you making friends with some people. What is happening with you? So she's sort of like disappointed you're making friends with some people. Maybe she's like her friends. It's just the way that it is. But you don't know because you followed her for a long time, and also you believe in what she does. So maybe you don't know. Maybe it's just the way that it is. And then there's a final comment from Eden Godfrey. It says, some people are already fallen by the wayside. People mustn't be surprised. Many of the so-called men and women of God are gift users. They are no longer hearing the voice of God. When you don't hear the voice of the Holy Spirit, you end up laying the red carpet for the wolves, endorsing the haters of the previous. So it's just the way that it is. But what does she has to do in this relationship? I'll tell you what I know about all these Pentecostal preachers and mega churches and all these false prophets and charlatans. What I think is happening here is Bushiri needed some sort of endorsement. Now, I don't know which preachers in Africa would want to associate themselves with Bushiri outside of Uebert Angel and Jeremiah. But Bushiri needs to get some sort of endorsement, even international endorsement. He needs to get endorsement from Africans, people who are skeptical about him, despite what happened to him in South Africa when he ran away, jumped bail. So he needed to get some sort of look at people who have some sort of credibility for him to be able to associate himself with. But you see, the people with the real sort of credibility would not want to associate themselves with him. You know, people like them, T.D. Jakes would not want to associate themselves with him. People like them, Noel Jones would not want to associate themselves with him. People like them, you know, all the other people that you know across African continent, they will not want to associate themselves with Bushiri. So he has to look for the ones who are less credible, but they're still credible in a way, and they love money. And then he has to offer them a lot of money. You think these people, Juanita Bynum and Clarence McClendon, are going to accept anything less than $50,000 to speak, to pray? That's just, I'm just giving you a minimum, sort of. Because you have to offer them money. They will tell you, I have to raise my integrity to associate myself with you. So he would offer them money that they cannot turn down, even if they want to turn down. Honorarium, they call it. Because now he has to begin to show that he's not just associate. Because you see, outside of Clarence McClendon and Juanita Bynum, all the other people are part of his family. Jeremiah, Bebe Angel, Uebert Angel, Mary Bushiri, they've been cruising together for the last whatever years. They're all part of like spiritual family. So it's easy to get them. But which preacher would want to associate himself publicly with Bushiri? I know a lot of them would, even maybe privately, they would have some sort of sympathy for him, but they would never come out publicly and associate themselves with him. So one is because Bushiri is trying to fix up his image. He's beginning to try to do some PR and get some sort of international endorsement and all that kind of stuff. And secondly, also, he's trying to make sure that, people who have, who are divided when it comes to their view and their opinion of him, but then they follow Clarence or they follow Juanita, now they're going to be drawn into just accepting him. All these things, these strategies, they sit down and think about it through and through. On the side of Juanita Bynum and Clarence McClendon, obviously, it's about the money. It's about the money. They will go wherever the money is. Juanita Bynum has been to South Africa here, where she hung out with another false prophet called Favor, Dudu Favor, the Favor Cathedral. Bishop Dudu, somebody, I'm trying to remember his other name, here in Pretoria. And do you know what happened then? There was a lot of drama because she told him, I'm going to take the offering and the offering is going to go with me. You don't know what these people sit down and do sometimes, because she knows how to raise offerings. There are certain preachers and prophets that know how to raise offering because they know how to manipulate and motivate people. Before you know it, you would sign a check. You would give your car keys right there. Then when you get home, then you will begin to say, what did I just do? They know how to play around with your brain. They know what to say. They know how to get you. They know how to tell you God is going to do this in your life. God is going to do this. And God, if you do this, God is going to do this. If you do this, God is going to, and boom, before you know it. And the same thing happened in Pretoria. She raised the offering. She would tell her people, make sure everything comes to me. Your people, it's your church, but your people have nothing to do with this. They do that, and it causes problems. So part of the reason why they would actually come to your church is they will tell you, you're going to pay me this amount of money. And then on the last day, or on the second day, I'm going to raise an offering. I'm going to ask people to give me an offering. But that offering, I'm not going to share with you. It's not coming to your church. It's coming to me. And they are going to be able to raise just at one time $100,000, $200,000, just like that. So Juanita Bynum has been involved in those kind of things. She's been in relationship with women. I'm not saying about her life before no more shits. No. And then we know about how relationship with Bishop Weeks, how abusive it was and all that kind of stuff. The other day, you know, last year or 2 years ago, she was on Facebook Live preaching and teaching, and she was busy using cursing. She was cursing, using words that is like, wow, you were preaching and then you were cursing. And she is the one that tells people don't curse. But you see, is the real her just coming out? Is the real Juanita that is coming out? The Juanita that you don't see, that is in private. That's how the Juanita that you don't see, you do not know. That's how she speaks. She curses. She uses the swear word. What does that tell you about the character of that person? What does that tell you about the character of that man of God or woman of God? This is a woman who would come and she would play with your mind. You would give her everything. She knows she's good in convincing people to give everything, and she will pack it and go. She will tell you are giving unto God. No, you're giving into her pocket. You're giving into her bank account. That's exactly what's happening. So you have her there. People are wondering, why is she there anyway? Well, she's there for me because the Bible is very clear. The Bible is very clear. Here's what the Bible says in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14a, the Message Bible. Don't become partners with those who reject God. How can you make a partnership out of right and wrong? That's not partnership. That's war. Is light best friends with dark? It's as simple as that. Bushiri has rejected God long time ago. Jeremiah rejected God. All these guys rejected God. They might be speaking the Christianese language, the Bible language, the Christian language, the pulpit language, the prophet language, and all that. But that doesn't mean that they are working with God. Please. So, just maybe, Juanita Bynum, she's in the dark herself. She walks in darkness. Though she claims to be somebody who is a prophetess, but she walks in darkness. Bishop Clarence E.McClendon, same thing. Same thing. Skinner here is saying, Juanita Bynum is a swindler. She goes around scamming churches. They will soon fall out. That's just the way they go. You take scam, she is good. You know this American preachers, there are a certain group of American preachers, they are good when they come to Africa, not just in Africa, even across America. They know how to scam people in money, you know, when it comes to money. They know how to raise money. They know how to get people to put money in certain things. You know, you put $100 for this, you give $500 for this, you do this, God is going to do this, you do this, God is going to do this. That's what they're known for. And Tabi Seng is saying God is exposing these people until we realize that only few is chosen. That's just the way that it is. Sandra is saying, I live in Atlanta. I don't even see her as a Christian. Because for me, she is not even a Christian. That's why I'm shocked that people are surprised that Juanita Bynum is associating herself with Bushiri. She is like Bushiri. She carries the same spirit like Bushiri, a deceitful spirit, a spirit of charlatan. She's a charlatan because she goes around deceive people. That's what charlatans do. People don't want to associate themselves with Juanita Bynum again. All credible people, leaders with integrity in the U.S., they don't want to invite her to their church. It's now left for you to see. Mercy is saying, thank God they have joined together so that people's eyes can be opened. Indeed. These people are like wolves. They ravage the church. The church is where they make money. Pumla is saying, I hear she calls on a false god in her atomic prayer. You know, this woman will come and pretend she's preaching and preaching and preaching and preaching and preaching and going here and preaching and preaching and preaching and preaching and praying and pray. Don't allow her prayer get you so emotional that you just give her anything that she wants. You sow a seed, or you get to a place where you feel she's a woman of God. No, prayer doesn't make you godly. Character makes you godly, because prayer is supposed to transform you to make you godly. So you can showcase Christ-like attitudes because of the character of Christ that is in you. Ify here is saying that picture is like a gallery of thieves. I totally agree with you. When I see this picture from start to finish, Jeremiah, thief. Bebe Angel, wife of a thief. Uebert Angel, thief. Shepherd Bushiri, thief. Mary Bushiri, wife of a thief. Juanita Bynum, thief. Clarence McClendon, thief. I've met Clarence McClendon here in Joburg about twice. When these guys come to the pulpit, they come for business. They come for business. It's not about the preaching and the eloquence and word and the revelation and all that. At the end of it, what they're going to extract out of people, the money that they're going to extract out of people. That's important for them. Oh my God, only the blind would fail to see the handwriting in the picture. Juanita is not of God. Can't you tell? Chief Fine Girl is saying, Brother Solomon, there is nobody in this Atlanta who doesn't know this. Who doesn't know Juanita is a false prophet right from onset? Bushiri is far better than Juanita. We all know her in Atlanta. So Bushiri is actually a better person. Sandra is saying, thank you, Solomon, for exposing these wolves. Matida Smith is saying she's the American version of Funke Felix Adejumo, all about money. Matida, let's not go there. We can talk more. We can talk quite a lot about Funke. Yeah, we can talk quite a lot about Funke. Let's keep that out for another day. Signet is saying, I honestly liked her. Now, I give up on these people. Melchizedek is saying, you seem to have a problem with a lot of man and woman of God. No, I don't have a problem with a lot of man and woman of God. I have a problem with their character. I have a problem with their deceitfulness. So let's separate the two. I respect the person. I respect anybody. Even if you're a criminal, I will respect you as a person. But when it comes to the issue, that's why you don't discuss the person. You discuss the issue, what the person is, what the person does, their character. Are they reflecting who they say they represent? Are they reflecting the true character of a prophet, prophetess? Are they reflecting the character of a Christian leader? That's a big question that we need to ask ourselves, and that's what I ask here. Juanita Bynum is somebody that speaks, she's controlling, she's manipulative, she just says whatever and all that kind of stuff, Sim here is saying, what's wrong with cussing? What's wrong with cussing when you're preaching online? What's wrong with cussing when a prophet crosses? Nothing wrong with it? Okay. I'm not going to get you an answer. As long as there's nothing wrong with it for you, it's fine. Finally, yeah, Loki here is saying Juanita has been married multiple times. Indeed. Mama D is saying it's all about money. These guys are cruel. It's all about money. Skinner is saying the prosperity gospel is a disaster. Total disaster. Total disaster. Total disaster. Total disaster. So I just wanted to share that with you. You know, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Just having these two, not just these two, having these people come together and do what they know best. I can imagine the prayer. I can imagine go online and even follow them on Wednesday. She's going to be, praying and teaching. You would see how she's going to try to even raise money there. That's what these people do. There's a way that she's going to creatively come and try to scam people, try to manipulate people. That's what they do. That's what they do. So please, when you see a lineup like this, you ask questions. And then when you ask questions, you interrogate, and you know that every single one of these people do not represent the true kingdom of God. So please stay away from such people. Just because she's associating herself with Bushiri doesn't mean you should just give her a benefit of a doubt. Or just because she's associating herself with Bushiri doesn't mean that you just exempt Bushiri and think, no, Bushiri is actually not who people think he is. It doesn't work that way at all. Interrogate. 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 That's the best way. That's the best way. Anyway, thank you guys. I'm going to be back tonight at 8 p.m. I'm going to be interviewing a wife of a gospel artist who is also a pastor. I'm going to be interviewing her. She's a doctor and also a mother to the kids that they had with her husband, but he left her. And he's now staying with his girlfriend while pastoring the church. And they're not divorced. And she helped him quite a lot, financially supported his music career and everything, because she's a medical doctor. So I'm going to be talking to her, and she's going to be giving us her story. And in the course of that, I'm also going to reach out to the husband and the girlfriend and say, what's happening here? Are we doing these things right? Do you think you're doing these things right? So I'll catch you at 8 p.m. tonight. Please make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, Solomon's Temple. Subscribe right now. Share this video so as much people as possible would have access to it. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much. May the Lord bless you, keep you. May he continue to shine his light on you day by day. Amen.
Marriage. Of course, marriage is not your normal pop and face kind of relationship. It brings both excitement and disappointments. If you find yourself married in community of property and often delayed in your business transactions and dealings, worry no more. Because Masinya Attorneys uses the law to help you change from in community of property to out of community of property and vice versa. Call Masinya Attorneys today on 084 383 7747. We will sort you out with a high court application, and of course you get to keep your spouse. That's Masinya Attorneys on 084 383 7747.